Hello, all sentient beings, and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers! On this episode, Jeremy gives us a scoop on the recent Hasbro Transformers Team Roundtable and the new figures they revealed. The next wave of Super 7's Transformers Ultimates features some surprising characters, and Bob Budiansky settles a long-time G1 tech spec debate. Today is Wednesday, December 8th, 2021, and this is episode 463 of Transmissions. Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that sent Peter Jackson about 60 hours of previously unheard audio, but he sent it back. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going?
Scott, the illustrious
Dr. Pants.
Hello, everyone.
And Daryl, the Cybertronian beast.
No audio clip for me? Oh.
No!
You suck. Let's talk Transformers.
You asked, it was either that or they were going to give you up.
As always, we start out the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. We really appreciate all you folks for continuing to support the show. And we do have a new Donatreon. I forgot to put it in the doc, but I just remembered, so good for me. Welcoming, I think he was, they were a Donatreon before, but they've just rejoined. Welcome back, Dogmatician. So Dogmatician, thank you.
Dogmatician?
Oh, yeah. Right on.
Welcome back.
Thank you for your support. We really appreciate it.
So is a dogmatician someone that like studies dogs or something? I don't know. Like a mathematician studies math.
Sure.
Or maybe a dog that does math.
They're the kind of person who says, okay, pug plus beagle equals puggle.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
I thought they were fans of dog magicians.
No, that's a labracadabrador.
Ah.
I hit the wrong button. My buttons got moved on the soundboard.
No, it's okay. I'm used to being told no when I tell jokes, so it's okay.
Well, yeah, thanks, Dogmatician, for joining up again, and we hope you enjoy all the perks. We've got lots and lots of bonus podcasts, particularly for Empire of Rust, our live play RPG podcast, the next episode of which came out this week, so everyone hopefully get to check out Empire of Rust episode 64, Mortilus's Advocate. And this is the big climax in the trial storyline that's been going on for the last few weeks. So that is available to everyone in the main podcast feed. It came out Monday, December 6th. If you are not subscribed to the main feed, you can get Empire of Rust directly at transmissionspodcast.com/rust.
I cannot wait for more of this trial. Sorry to sidetrack. I have been so engrossed in the Empire of Rust episodes that are just the trial, and it bothers the crap out of me. No action, no shooting, no nothing, but damn, I want more of it.
Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but this episode has a big courtroom moment, so look forward to that.
Yes.
Glad to hear you're enjoying it. I know. So have you gotten caught up on the entire series now, or did you just start at season 2?
I started at the beginning of season 2. Season 1 is too daunting to get back, but I can definitely do like an episode every other week. And I listened to the entire special.
Ah, okay, cool.
That you and Jeremy were in, or
awesome.
You and Yoshi. Yeah.
Yes.
Charles and I were in the first one.
Right.
Yes.
I need to go back and listen to the first one.
You
cool.
Don't.
It was good.
I had no idea what I was doing.
But you did a great job, Jeremy. It was fun. And before we get into the toy show, I did just, for that little audio clip I found. So, Scott, you said you have Disney Plus now. So I definitely think you should check out Disney's Jungle Cruise movie because I didn't realize that you were actually in the movie.
Apparently.
But you looked a lot like Emily Blunt, so that was it was very confusing to hear you get referred to as Dr. Pants in the movie.
You can do a lot with CGI these days.
I was going to say, if only I looked like Emily Blunt. We're going to do trips to the store, and people are going to be real disappointed. I'll have to check it out, though.
Yeah, so
that's a fun movie.
It's about halfway through the movie. There's that your name gets dropped.
Disney's going to hear from my legal team.
If you want, it's basically the entire movie is just The Rock doing bad puns like you would get on the ride at Disney. So it's great.
I can live with that. I can watch that.
All right, let's get into some Transformers toys.
All right, and I'm going to start off by zigging a bit from my usual zag. And we got some G1 news this week that came from an interview from Radimus Primal, who talked with G1 writer of the comics, Bob Budiansky, on his YouTube channel. And he wanted to settle a long-standing kind of a problem that had happened, or kind of arguments that's been going on in the fandom for a long time, because on the toy packaging you got the tech specs, and when you look at Thundercracker's packaging tech specs and you look at Starscream's, it feels like they're reversed, they're flipped, and he wanted to talk to the man himself and say, hey, what's going on here? Do you remember? Was this done on purpose? Do you know? So I've watched the video. I've seen it, and he actually does. Bob brings out his original tech specs that he wrote for the characters. He has them all listed, everybody, and he shows on the screen. He shows that Starscream was supposed to be ranked higher than Thundercracker. So there was an issue transferring his notes to the packaging, and it was kind of screwed up, from his notes to production. So, it's finally settled after almost 40 years. There you go. So that's kind of interesting. It's one of those things that, you look at the tech specs on the G1 box and you're like, wait a minute, why is Thundercracker ranked higher than Starscream? And you kind of, if you really don't care all that much, you would, play it off as being, it's Transformers. This was the first year, did they really know how Starscream was going to be? Maybe, maybe not. And well, they did. And they just kind of screwed up the packaging, So I found that very interesting, is just kind of one of those things that has just been uncovered here in 2021 as something that was printed in 1984 as a mistake. And it's not technically toys, but it's been something that's been applied to the toys for a very long time. So guys, I don't know, do you find this as interesting as I do? Charles, I'm sure you find this interesting. So I wanted to definitely bring this up, and what are your thoughts on something like this?
Yeah, I didn't realize this until I looked at the doc tonight, so I got to go and check out this video. But this does, what interests me about this is that, famously Bob Budiansky is not a big Transformers guy. Like he always talks about how he viewed this as just a job. He enjoyed it. He enjoyed the work, but this was not something that he felt like was his life's work or anything really important. Like, it was a job. He finished it and that was it. But the other thing is that he saved all his notes. Like, he saved so much stuff from, back in the day that he always has all this stuff that he can refer to and bring out notes. And, it's really cool that he had his original notes and could bring out this evidence. Like, yeah, this what's what it is. But it's just funny to me that, he was able to produce this, where I'm sure this is something that is like, it's minutia that he has probably no interest in, but he's willing to settle the debate. But probably couldn't care less. But it's really interesting to me that he saves all this stuff, but still has it seems he has, I mean, I'm not going to say he hates Transformers or anything, but he has very little nostalgia or affection for Transformers other than, the fact that it brought him, it was a job for him. And then, he's gratified that fans enjoyed the work and are continuing to take pleasure in it after all these years. But for him, it's kind of, okay, I did it and that's it.
You can definitely, I only really focused in on the part that, the story is really about. I haven't watched the whole video. And I've sat in on some Bob Budiansky panels as well as you. And during the interview here, you can definitely see there is that apathy that Budiansky, you talked about. He does have that. He's still just, it's a job, and we've all known this over the years. It's just, he's an intelligent guy. He's very creative, and he did this thing. He's definitely kept all his evidence, so he can definitely back up any claims that he has. And that's fantastic because, people are coming to him almost 40 years later saying, hey, what did you mean when you said such and such? And he can say, well, let me refer to my notes, and they're there. But if you definitely at a convention, you don't want to go and stand in front of them and say, in particular issue number 36, right, what did you mean when somebody said blah, blah, blah? He's like, I don't freaking know. It was 30 years ago and I can't even remember what I did yesterday. And, so yeah, it's an interesting kind of a thing, but this is, one of those things that kind of polarized some of the fandom there for a long, long time. Jeremy, do you think there's a possibility that evidence out there exists to solve the Frumble debate?
I was just thinking that. That would be really interesting. Although, he didn't have any input into the packaging itself, just, the text and the tech specs. But it would be interesting if a similar person at Hasbro had those notes and, had evidence that maybe the wrong bot was put in the wrong box, or even on the Sunbow side on the TV show. I mean, who knows where it was messed up, but that would be really cool. On this, I'm surprised this hasn't come up in one of his panels he's done, because he has a whole presentation with scanned versions of these notes. And I'm guessing this one just either has never been included or no one's ever asked him to look it up. And, good on Radimus Primal for asking, because that's, anytime we can have one of these debates definitively solved, it's a better day.
Yeah. I think at least we definitely would need someone at Sunbow to clear that up, because it seems like at least the comics and the toys are all consistent that Frenzy is the blue one and Rumble is the red and black one. And it's really only the cartoon that made Frenzy red and black and Rumble blue. And then, all the kids who watched the cartoon were like, I'm going with the cartoon.
Yeah. I can't, we keep seeing like these show Bibles coming up, and like was the Space Bridge posting them and stuff.
Yep.
Something like that should have that information, I would think. Something that would say to the animators, this is what this character looks like and needs to be colored like, and all that.
And Dr. Pants, does any of this change anything for you? Does it help anything? Was Starscream's G1 tech spec ever a consideration for you as to where he stood in the Decepticon rank?
No, not even in the slightest, because in all honesty, I was reading this and I was like, I had no idea this was even a concern in the community. Because in all honesty, I mean, you see debates and everything and people discuss stuff like the Frenzy Rumble debate, like that's a big thing. I had never seen anything mentioned about the tech specs possibly being mixed up or like what the deal was. And in all honesty, when it comes to tech specs and just, rankings in general, I'm not really familiar with the G1 versions, because when they were coming out, I was really young, and while I looked at the boxes, I don't remember much of what was on there. But it does kind of explain some things, and it also, like, my insight was, like, when I would look at Beast Wars packaging and see, like, tech specs and stuff on it, or other ones, I always just assumed they were just kind of, like, throwing it out there, and it didn't really have any impact on stuff that was, like, maybe in the show or the comics. because I can't remember any instance in particular, but I remember looking at like some Beast Wars characters and being like, well, this doesn't match up what I would imagine they would be considering seeing them in the show.
Yeah, I mean, on these, like the CBR article leak or mentions, and Daryl, it was Skywarp, not Thundercracker.
Yeah, I was going to mention that right at the end there. I was just reading it again.
He was saying Budiansky did this because the Marvel, what was the book? The Handbook to the Marvel Universe had recently come out, and it created something similar to kind of let people know like where one character stood versus another in terms of powers and stuff. So, he took the same thing with the Transformers.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I will say one thing though on the Frenzy Rumble debate. I almost hope that never gets solved, because I feel like that's just something that connects us all. If we didn't have that to argue about, I feel like we would fall apart. And also, just the drummer for Cybertronic Spree is, of course, the purple and blue cassette, and he calls himself Rumble. If it turns out that that's not who Rumble is, what happens? What happens to the band? What happens to his identity? Does he have a crisis? Does he have to change his name legally? What happens?
Well, and even the debate continues, because even with the latest that game, the Transformers Battle Arena game, when you have the little Soundwave character, he ejects Ravage, Laserbeak, and Rumble, who is blue. So the debate will continue to rage on.
Yeah, it's an interesting one here. I mean, I asked you, Dr. Pants, this question, but the ranking, the intelligence ranking, never ever applied anything to me. I was a child of the cartoon, and whatever the cartoon told me is what I believed. Starscream was, the leader of the Seekers, and he was the one who kind of reported to Megatron directly, and he was also the one who had all the character development. Rumble was blue, Frenzy was black and red, and that's just how it was. The cartoon was my Bible. If any more mistakes were made, it was, that's, that was okay. That was the way it was in the cartoon. The
Autobots' human friend was Spike, not Buster.
That's right.
Exactly.
It was a decade later before I even knew that the human friend was Buster in the comics, and I thought it was a completely different thing. Like, I mean, it blew my mind that they had these guys to call different things. So, yeah, but yeah, and like Jeremy corrected me there, Starscream and Thundercracker were given the same type of tech specs, and it was Skywarp who was the one who was accidentally given Starscreams. So I want to make sure we're clear on that before I start getting messages saying you were wrong. Learn to read. So yeah. Anyway, I found that interesting today, and I wanted to mention that. So anyway, that's my thing for this week. Jeremy, tell us what you found.
Not really what I found, but what I got to participate in. Hasbro design team had a call on this last Friday with people from a bunch of fan media sites, including me, representing our podcast, and it was really cool. They showed off. This was all about Studio Series coming 2022. They talked about first characters that we already knew about and had been revealed, but they showed us the concept art, and this includes Brawn from the Bumblebee movie, Wheeljack. All these are from the Bumblebee movie. Wheeljack, Ratchet, Soundwave, Ravage, and Shockwave. So we talked about all those a few weeks ago when I think they showed it on Instagram or something. But it was really neat looking at the concept art for some of these, and you can really see kind of some of the designs that they were playing with before they came up to the final process. Like Ratchet here from the start, they wanted the back end of the vehicle mode to show his shoulders, or to become his shoulders, but the front part went through a few changes and colors and stuff. With Wheeljack, they were playing around with, like, initially they thought he should be like a hover car, and then they decided, because all the other vehicles you see, like Optimus and Bumblebee, have wheels. They're like, okay, well, Cybertronian cars have wheels. So that's why they went that way. Someone did ask why they didn't go with a boxy design. And they said that like these figures were made using the CAD files from the movie. Like they were the original movie toys. All they had was like non-finalized, things. So that's why the Studio Series line is more perfect or more accurate to the movie. So, but all they had is the robot modes. ILM, like unless we saw a vehicle mode or an alt mode on screen, they didn't design it. So like Ravage, you see both. But with Wheeljack, you don't. And they're like the boxy mode. There isn't a good way with the colors that you see, like on his chest, the green and the red and stuff. It just wouldn't work out with a boxy form. They just didn't see a way to make that work. And they're like, people recognize him as the Lancia race car. Clearly ILM was going from that as a design. So that's what they did. So that was really cool. Braun got a lot of talk in how they went from, this, the robot mode there, and how they made this like kind of rounded vehicle, but with, his front grille can flip around and be a connection point for his drill accessory, in reference to that, him doing it in that one G1 episode. And then they emphasized just how short the character is. And they showed later on, they showed a clip from the movie, and you see him standing in front of some other characters, and he's just tiny. He's like, comes up to their shoulders. And I thought that was kind of funny how, true, they took a character that little and they're still able to make a good deluxe toy out of it. Soundwave had it had one of the coolest concept arts, but the final version of the toy is a little underwhelming, I think. The little kind of hover car that they made in the concept art has like some red accents on the front, and it's just very bland looking in the actual toy that we see. There's none of these extra colors, and I figure it's because they just, it would make the robot mode not look as good, but it's disappointing because the alt mode is just really cool. And with Shockwave, you see the tank mode, but this is a core class figure. And someone asked why, because scale is such a big thing about Studio Series, and they were like, core class is an easily accessible price point, and that's why they wanted to get, some of these characters in as core class, but they're not ruling out having a bigger Shockwave later on. So I thought that was a good sign. And then they went on to some Kingdom figures, and then we'll come back to some Studio Series like that they showed off at the end, but they showed off Kingdom Pipes and Kingdom Slammer. And I think we've seen, we knew both of these were coming. I think we've seen Slammer, like leaked pictures. Pipes, we've obviously seen Huffer and Puffer and Road Rage. And, so this mold we've seen before, but one interesting change that they made from some of the other ones is the two pipe attachments can connect to each other where they can't in some of the other ones, but otherwise it's basically Puffer with darker blue. But the head sculpt looks great. And I mean, it looks like a really fun toy. Slammer is built, basically it's the waist of Airwave, but other than that, it's basically all new components. And I thought that was interesting. There was some discussion about how it's really cool that the idea of a remold has really changed over the years, where now it's getting harder and harder to tell like where the pieces from the other toy were. But they showed off the robot, and then also our good buddy Mark had it in hand, and he showed off how it can become a tower that connects to Metroplex, like a radio tower thing. And it has a little at the bottom. There's a couple pegs that people have looked at, and they found where it will connect in to Metroplex. So that was really cool. So Daryl, when you inevitably pick this up, you'll be able to connect it in on your Metroplex if you want to have it in that mode.
Yeah. If I can find the space to put Metroplex in a base mode, then yeah.
Oh yeah, but I mean the tank mode looks great. The robot mode looks great, and one thing that was interesting, because we've never had a robot mode for Slammer before. He was, the tank for the original toy doesn't transform.
Mm-hmm.
So Mark said that basically a lot of this is just he scoured fan sites and just took ideas from a bunch of different fan interpretations of what they would expect this robot mode to be. Particularly like the head is like most designs had a head of this design. So he took those, and then I can't remember who the Takara designer was. But basically he's like, this is what I'm thinking, send it over. The Takara designer, has made some changes and said, what about this? And it went back and forth until they got what they wanted. But interesting that a lot of fan inspiration came into this figure. And then after that, they had 2 new reveals that we hadn't seen before. The first is a Kingdom Core Class Rodimus, or I guess Hot Rod figure. And, it's tiny, but really interesting articulation. Like, seems like a really good figure. And he comes with a sword that is called the Sword of Primus. So that's interesting. The sword has a 3.5 millimeter connector. But I think it's also got a 3 and then a 5. So I think it can go in either the smaller figures or the bigger figures' hands. And then also the spoiler comes off as well, and it can attach to the sword. So it seems like a really fun figure, one that I'm probably going to look for my kid. And then the big reveal that everyone's talking about is Studio Series RC. And this is where they showed a scene from the movie, and they're like, you can see in the foreground, you can see just how small Brawn is compared to RC. And he's like, Brawn is standing in front of RC in this image. But this is probably the best RC that Hasbro has ever made, in my opinion. This is, she transforms into a motorcycle, but kind of a 3-wheeled motorcycle, like, 2 wheels in the back, 1 in the front. The wheels were inspired by Tron, which I really appreciated, in that there's no like central hubcap. It's attached to the inside rim of the wheel, like the main body, and it still spins. So it's a really cool design. I really like it. And in robot mode, it's not a shell that, goes around a robot. They figured out how to make it work. And, she's got kind of fenders that go back to make a jetpack, and just a really, really neat looking RC. And they say she's really poseable. She's really stable. She can stand well. And, the white on it isn't actually white. It's a light gray color. I think Wheeljack uses the same color, and she was like, or they were like, this will make the photography, I think, look a lot better. So, I'll open the floor. Daryl, let's start with you, I guess. What are your thoughts? I mean, we've talked about a lot of the other figures already, but just what are your thoughts on these?
Well, I think they all look really great. The Studio Series RC looks phenomenal. I love the alt mode. I think the alt mode looks great. I'm looking forward to messing with that and just seeing how they pulled it off. The robot mode also looks fantastic. It looks like a great figure. So I'm really looking forward to just kind of messing around with that. The core class Rodimus, I can skip that. I've bought a lot of Rodimus this year, big ones and small ones, and I'm done with Rodimus for a while. The rest of the Studio Series, Bumblebee stuff, they all look really great, like amazing, and I've been kind of picky on what I've been getting from that movie. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to go all in on that, the stuff from that first, those animation scenes. But they're going hard on what, what they're going to give us. So they're pretty much making everybody. So I can, if I avoid it, I'll save myself a bunch of money. But if I decide to go in, I'm going to end up getting all of these things. The Studio Series, the Studio Series core class stuff, it confuses me. They've never done a core class Studio Series figure before, and I mean, we're into what, number 70 here? Like, what numbers are these? 80s. They're announcing
it was in the
80s.
80s.
Yeah, like some of these are 80s. So like you're just now going to start doing core class stuff. So it seems odd to me that they're going to start doing them now. I get that Ravage is a small guy and he goes with Soundwave, but just make Soundwave, if he's a Voyager size figure, make him a leader class point and give us 2 tapes or something like that. Give us somebody else, that maybe wasn't in the movie.
Well, we didn't see any other tapes.
Well, let's flex a creative muscle here and make somebody up.
Yeah.
But I don't like the making of a whole new price point for this for 2 figures. I already walk into a Walmart or a Toys R Us and all I see are, rows and rows and rows of the current core class assortment, which is 3 figures, I think, is on the shelf right now. So, I can
see some of the smaller bots from the other movies, like, I can't think
Wheelie,
but like, Wheelie and stuff.
Brains, and
I mean, those would be good for core class.
Sure. Yeah.
They could redo Revenge of the Fallen Laserbeak, because the one that comes with the Soundwave is crap.
Or the deluxe class one is crap.
that one too is crap. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple that could fit in this class. It seems odd to start it now when the numbering is at 80, right?
I mean, it's weird to start with Shockwave too, because Shockwave has always been a big guy. Yeah.
So I mean, by putting Shockwave in this core class, you're telling us that nobody is free from being put in core class, right?
I mean, that's exactly what they're saying.
Yeah. The regular generation stuff, I like it. I mean, Shadow Panther is a skip for me. I'm not interested in that. But the other 2 guys, I'm all in. Sign me up for all those. Yeah, they've done a really good job on all these things. Whether I'm getting them or not, they all look great.
Cool. Dr. Pants. One of the things I forgot to mention with the Studio Series Ravage, that missile that's underneath actually goes with Soundwave's gun to form that little shaped projectile. Do you think that would influence your decision on getting Ravage?
Or
were you gonna get it anyway?
I was gonna get it anyway. I am a giant Soundwave fan. If you put out a Soundwave figure, I will buy it, and any accessories that I can get for Soundwave, I will get. And so I am in for Ravage. I am in for Soundwave. But I will say, I'm a little disappointed seeing this Soundwave. I feel like he needs a little bit more like paint app on him or something. He looks almost too blue now. Yeah. And also, why does he look sad? He looks so sad. Like in the eyes.
He doesn't have his other tapes. Maybe at this point in the war, they'd all died.
I don't know, but like if you look at his eyes, he just looks really sad.
I mean, what I see is just nothing but gaps in his thighs. That's
some DNA. Somebody will make an upgrade kit and they'll fill it in.
Yeah,
it'll get taken. Shockwave Labs. Somebody will do it. The rest of the Studio Series figures look really, really cool, and I was not going to get them all, but I'm looking at them. Even Braun, who I don't necessarily like his design, it just looks like such a fun figure. I'll probably get Wheeljack because I like Wheeljack a lot, and I think this is a really great looking figure. I love Shockwave. I might pick up that core class Shockwave just because he's cool. I'll definitely be picking up Slammer from Kingdom. The core class Hot Rod, I'm going to pass on. I've got the Studio Series Hot Rod, and while I love Hot Rod, just doing basic. He's all red except for the chest and the face. But I will say that face sculpt is really good for a core class figure. Holy crap, it looks really good.
It's a really good head sculpt.
Yeah.
I'm sure Toy Hacks is going to do a good set for him.
True. I think if I had picked up the Generation Selects like Star Convoy, this would be kind of a cool thing to throw with him since he came with, the original one came with like a Micromaster Hot Rod.
I think someone actually brought that up to Hasbro.
Yeah, I think that would be cool then, but I don't have it, so I'm going to pass. RC looks amazing. We have not gotten a good RC figure yet, except if you go third party, and this one looks really, really good. The fact that her backpack is not terrible and just the entire alt mode, this is awesome. It still gives off the vibe of like an RC, but still is something new. I love her design. I really like the legs. The legs look awesome, especially with the wheels behind the feet and everything.
Yeah. Oh, and they were saying when the wheels can flip around. So like you can have her, I think they have a picture of her kind of kicking out and the wheel spinning out like she did in, was it Dark of the Moon or Revenge of the Fallen?
It was Revenge of the Fallen.
Yeah. So they you can do that and the wheel can spin around.
That's really cool. I really like that figure, and I will, as long as I can find it, I'll definitely be picking it up. Maybe I'll just pre-order that one. I don't know. But, yeah, no, they all look great, and it's just more stuff to buy.
Yeah. Charles, I know that you just can't stand fake chests. And I don't know if you've noticed, Soundwave has a fake chest. His robot chest, if you look in the picture with the chest open, you can see the top of the vehicle mode that is supposed to be his chest shows up there. Does that ruin the toy for you?
Well, I mean, with Soundwave, it's already kind of a weird because Soundwave, he's always the tape player to me. So any kind of alternate vehicle mode you have for Soundwave, it's already pretty different. So I'm willing to give it a pass.
You're already pretending.
Yeah. But what I did notice was that core class hot rod also has a fake chest.
Oh yeah.
So, but that's also not any different from the Studio Series hot rod, which I do have thanks to Dr. Pants. And I really like the Studio Series 86 hot rod figure. So this core class hot rod is redundant, as I think everyone else said. For me, but I do like the design of that core class hot rod. I think it's nice for, it's definitely a figure for getting kids started on a smaller figure, and having that little sword is nice as a little accessory, although it's probably going to get lost immediately if you do give it to a kid.
Yeah.
The RC is wonderful, as everyone else has said. That's a really nice figure. I have really avoided collecting the movie, like the live action movie Studio Series figures. So, I'll maybe if I saw this in the store, I might pick this RC up. I've been a bit disappointed with all the other RC figures, like the RC figures from Kingdom or from War for Cybertron in general, and from Cyberverse. They've all had that same kind of giant backpack car on the back of a robot. So yeah, maybe this RC has a significantly new, different design and completely unique design, would be a good one to pick up. So yeah, maybe. The Wheeljack looks really nice too. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm still skittish on the Studio Series figures, but these figures are different. I mean, these designs are significantly different from all the other Studio Series figures. And it only took us 3 years to get these figures from the Bumblebee movie. So, they all look good, but, and I don't know if I'll pick them up, but they're tempting me.
I mean, I'll say that if they're anywhere near as good as that Studio Series Starscream was that was from the Bumblebee movie, like, man, oh man, that's a heck of a figure. So, I mean,
I think they've really upped their game on some of these.
Yeah.
There are a few more notes from the call. There was a Q&A session. I asked about the Brawn head, and they said that came from ILM. That all the bot mode stuff just came from ILM. So I was just saying how the helmet, the idea of kind of upgrading the helmet to that medieval look, I just thought was so cool. The time frame on these is going to be February 1st, 2022. Someone brought up how they like recently a lot of pre-orders have been moved, stuff that people were expecting to come out in January suddenly just started arriving, and the Hasbro people said they built in some buffer in case there were shipping delays, but they hadn't thought of the other side of it, where now it's like right before the holidays, people are getting slammed with charges that they weren't expecting. They had budgeted for later, and suddenly they're being hit, or they're having to cancel pre-orders, and it's just budgeting. So they're going to take that information back to their team. Their minds were all on shipping delays and how they can mitigate that by building in expectation of a later date. Kind of the Scotty rule: promise it's going to take 3 times longer than it's going to actually take, but it has other effects. someone asked if the Soundwave was based on an old G.I. Joe crossover comic inspiration, which had a strikingly similar alt mode. And I think it was Sam Smith from Hasbro was the designer on that. He said that he hadn't even known about that until someone showed him the image, that day. But the other person working on that initial design was Emiliano Santa Lucia, who he doesn't know if Emiliano had used that as an inspiration. But I'm thinking that's likely. But we'll never know unless someone asks him. And let's see, someone asked about other cassette bots, and they said they love the idea, but they'd be basically made up. So right now, they don't have any concept art for anything that wasn't shown on the movie. And then let's see, the most challenging alt mode to come up with was, they said it was either Soundwave or Brawn. And then Ben Yee asked if, because the 86 Studio Series line has been so great, if it would be possible to get a Beast Wars or mainframe Transformers animated Studio Series line for those, from the TV side, to get show accurate versions. And they didn't really give an answer to that, but they, I guess they appreciated the feedback. A lot of people were on board with that. And then let's see, they asked about Slammer. I've talked about that. And then the Studio Series is planned to have 4 waves per year. That's the plan for 2022, but it's a mix of Bumblebee movie, regular Studio Series, and anything that might come up. Studio Series Wave 2 is expected in May. That's going to include RC and other things that they haven't announced yet. Radimus Core Class is expected in December or early 22, and I think that is about it. Pre-orders for the Studio Series Wave 1 is going to be in December, but they did not give a date. So it was a really fun call. Really cool to kind of be involved with all these other sites that have been, established for years. And, I guess we got to thank Hasbro and the Hasbro PR for inviting us, and hopefully they continue to do it, because this call was actually, they weren't planning on doing it, but the design team asked PR to set it up. So I'm really excited that the design team is really trying to engage with the fans. But you guys have any other comments? All right. Well, I guess, Dr. Pants, what do you have this week?
I have an upgrade set. DNA Design is showing off their DK30 Gearmaster upgrade set, and this is for Kingdom Leader Galvatron. This set is going to include pieces for the shoulders, so if you don't pop the shoulders off, because we know that they're sitting a little low, if you just rotate them around, there's a screw hole there. Well, they're giving screw hole covers. They're giving leg extenders, because he does look a little short, so this will add a little bit of height to him. They are including a matrix holder with a longer chain, and the chain looks way better than the one that comes packaged with Galvatron. A new face frame with 3 interchangeable faces. One is a scowling face, one is a smirking face, and one is either a laughing or a yelling face. I'm not sure which. And then a G1 toy-inspired gun. So it's a big black rifle like his toy came with, and also a blast effect, which is different than the blast effects we usually get. This looks really, really cool. I have not gotten a Galvatron yet myself, but I have it on pre-order, and this is up for pre-order right now. It is $29.99 for all this, and to be honest, they have pictures of normal Kingdom Galvatron next to one with this upgrade set, and he looks great. This looks like almost a perfect Galvatron toy when it has all these upgrades. Oh, I forgot to mention, it's got hand upgrades also that give you posable fingers. The fingers will open and close on him, so he can hold the matrix then and everything too. But this looks absolutely great. I have this pre-ordered. I have Galvatron pre-ordered, so I can't wait to have this and put it with my movie collection. So I'm just gonna go around and ask. And Charles, we'll start with you. Do you have Galvatron yet? You love Galvatron.
I did not pick up Galvatron. I was still put off by the battle damage. And so, yeah, I did not. I decided to skip Galvatron.
So you're not going to get the upgrade set then?
No, I'm not going to get the upgrade kit, but I do appreciate, particularly the chain, the better chain for the Matrix. That's nice. The blast effect for the cannon is cool. And the multiple faces and hands are all nice additions. So these are cool. little accessories, and then the extra gun, that little kind of what episode is that from? Is that from
No, it's from the toy.
Oh, it's from the toy. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I mean these are all fun, and yeah, if I had Galvatron, maybe this would be a good set for an upgrade kit for it. But yeah, sadly I do not have Galvatron, and probably will not be getting this Galvatron.
Well, Daryl, what about you? I know you'll be picking the Galvatron up if you don't have one already, right? So you're going to get the upgrade kit.
I have it. I have the I have the Galvatron, and Charles, I made a handy dandy little YouTube video on how to remove the damage. It's actually very easy to remove that battle damage. So I'll link you to a YouTube video that I made, and it's you want can you check out my YouTube page? It's can you check out my YouTube channel?
You
maybe you should put it on the podcast.
YouTube. Yeah.
Big letter U, TUBE. Is that how you get there?
Lowercase.
Lowercase U. Okay. All
very
right.
very case sensitive. Yeah. So I like the way that this set looks. I like it very much. You said it's what, $29?
$29.99 US.
Yeah, it's expensive for the stuff you get, but it sure does make a heck of a lot of difference. I think the added pieces probably turn this thing into a masterpiece scaled Galvatron. They just up him, his height just enough to put him into that caliber. Yeah, his articulation, the figure is very good. The only thing that would probably kind of, bring him down to, production level is the plastic quality that's used. Is, when you're holding him, you can definitely feel the difference between him being a masterpiece or just a regular kind of production piece. But I really like the way that this kit looks. It's a phenomenal add-on kit, and if I can figure out a way to swing this thing, I'm gonna do it because it looks great.
Well, it's not supposed to release until April, so you got some time.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
All right then, Jeremy, what about you? Do you have Galvatron? Would you get this upgrade kit if you had one?
I have the Generation Selects Galvatron, so I would not get this kit because the colors don't match. If they made one that was colored to match the Generation Selects one, I think I might, because it does look really cool.
Honestly, that extra little bit of height, I think, really changes it up. Makes that profile look really good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like the colors on the Generation Selects one with, like, the more grays and purple, I guess the comic colors. But looking at this, like, it just, the colors don't match, and it just wouldn't work with the rest of the toy. I mean, I do have this green matrix, but they don't include a matrix, just a thing to connect it to. So I don't know. I really like everything that they've done here, especially having like a real chain instead of the stupid plastic thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So really cool, and I can definitely see them doing different colors of this. So I'll just wait until we see something like that.
I mean, they've done different colored upgrade sets for a lot of their stuff. I know they did an upgrade kit for Siege Magnus. They then recolored it for Siege Leader Prime, and then they even recolored it again to be for Kingdom Magnus. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an upgrade kit for this for the Selects one. Even they did another Selects one, didn't they? That was like the modified one where he's being transformed from Megatron to Galvatron.
Oh yeah, they did the like kind of black and like the Tron color.
Yeah, the Tron Galvatron, the Galvatron.
Galvatron.
Yes. So I wouldn't be surprised if they repainted this and did it for all versions of it, but
yeah.
Well, all right, that's everything I've got. So Charles, wrap it up.
Okay, well, we all know how awesome non-transforming Transformer figures are.
Yeah.
So we're going back to the Super 7 Transformers Ultimates. They have their Wave 3 of figures have been revealed. And these are very interesting because these are not what you would expect. You would expect some random G1 characters. That's not what you're getting here. I mean, you're getting deep cuts in this Wave 3 of figures here. And So we've got an Alligatorcon, which is Optimus Prime as an alligator, and this is from I think it was City of Steel was the G1 episode where the Decepticons had captured Optimus Prime and then taken apart his body and put it as part of their fortress when they had taken over New York City. So you've got the alligator is Prime's body, then Prime's arm was their gun at the top of their tower, and then Optimus Prime's head was left disembodied. So that's an interesting pick. Then you've got Wreck-Gar from Transformers the movie, of course. He's got lots of accessories. He's got an alternate head, got lots of different hands, weapons, and everything. You've got G2 Megatron in his purple and green camouflage colors, with lots of accessories, multiple heads, hands, weapons, a bandolier. And then the last figure, one that I really did not expect, is Tarn, Decepticon Justice Division leader Tarn from IDW Comics. So we're getting closer to getting a real transforming Tarn figure. Because we've got the Tarn here. He comes with multiple heads. He comes with a removable Decepticon mask. He comes with a nickel figure accessory, and the double fusion cannon, of course. So I'm just really impressed with the deep cuts for these figures here. These Super 7 figures. Of course, these are the action figures. They're posable. They're not transforming because they're third-party official licensed figures. So Hasbro doesn't let third parties make transforming figures. They only make
unless you're making a $700 auto transforming figure.
That's true. These are on the pricey side here. I mean, you do get a lot of accessories with each of these figures, but I don't know if that justifies $55 for each figure here. But these are all supposed to be out in fall of 2022. But I'm just impressed with the pulls they made and the choices they made for these figures. So, Daryl, what do you think of this Super 7 line?
Oh, well, I mean, what can we say? It's the first official Tarn figure that's been put out, right?
No.
Flame Toys.
I know. Yeah. I'm kidding. That was the headline that kept going around on what was it, Friday that this came out? Thursday? Wednesday. Wednesday is when it came out. Yeah. Is first official Tarn figure from and non-stop corrections that were posted in response to that. The actually glasses were being pushed up, like all day. I think these look great. These Super 7 figures are just awesome. The articulation and the posability, they're really awesome. The price point is high, but you're getting some characters in here that you really haven't seen in a while. An Alligatorcon, is that what he's called? Yeah, Alligatorcon.
Yes.
That's one of the deepest pulls, man. Like, that is a super deep pull here. The most common figure, the most ridiculously mediocre figure in this whole foursome is Wreck-Gar. So it's kind of crazy. G2 Megatron, I love it. Like, give me more G2 Megatron. I love it. Tarn, this is ridiculous. Like, I mean, I'd spend $55 US on a Tarn figure. Like, it looks great.
Nickel, not with nickel. That's
with a nickel. Great. Yeah.
What savings?
Yeah. It's yeah. I mean, I really like Tarn's design. This is obviously taken some liberties to make it look a little bit more like it belongs in the G1 cartoon series, but yeah, it's great. I think these are awesome, and I would hope to be able to find a way to order these through like my comic book store or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for those who, hopefully everyone has checked out the Cyberverse movies that are now up on Netflix, and we get Tarn as in the first video media in the Cyberverse show. And, there's speculation that will there be a Tarn figure released in Cyberverse? Probably not, because I think the toy line Cyberverse is probably pretty much done at this point.
It was probably done before they got to go ahead to do that season 4.
No, there's new toys coming out right now for it.
Right, but the toys are 2 years out. So I don't know how far out the show is.
Yeah. But the fact that Tarn showed up in Cyberverse, now we've got another Tarn figurine in the Super 7 line to go with the other, what we had, the Flame Toys Tarn. And so, yeah, it looks like there's maybe there's some love for Tarn somewhere, and at least the licensees have some love for Tarn. Maybe it's bubbling back up to Hasbro, and in the Legacy line we'll get a Tarn figure at some point. That would be awesome. I guess we'll see. But anyway, Jeremy, what do you think of these figures?
I think they look fantastic. The Alligator Con, it's 11 inches long. That's crazy. Seeing that, I'm like, okay, I can see why you're asking for $55 for these figures, because they're big. I think Rekgar is cool. I zoomed in on the picture. His little tablet that he comes with actually looks like it has an animation frame. I can't tell if it's from Transformers or something else, but it looks like 80s animation.
I think it's one of the frames he shows when he shows off his TV in the movie.
I believe you're right.
Oh,
I think it is.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Oh,
you talk some TV?
So cool. Like the people that designed this, they know their product. I think that's really, really cool. The Megatron, one of the images they show is him running like he did in that comic where you're seeing him run.
Which comic?
Like, I can't remember which one. If it was the G.I. Joe or the
It's
G2.
issue 1 of G2, I think.
It's G.I. Joe. I think it's G.I. Joe.
Is it?
I think so. Isn't it?
Oh. Whichever one. He can run. He can have that pose. So that's really cool. And then Tarn, like just having Tarn come with Nickel, it's like these people clearly know the characters and they're like, why? Okay, we can't be the first Tarn, but we can be the first Nickel. And I was looking at Nickel and just realizing that, oh, those are screwdrivers hanging from her chest, because of course they are. And I don't know why they're all flathead, but whatever. I think there's one that's not, but it's really cool that they have all these deep cuts. And if I were to get one, it would probably be the Tarn, but I'm hoping by then we actually have an official Tarn, by next fall. But like you said with the Legacy line, we've all been thinking about like different toy lines being represented in it. We know there's rumors for Armada toys and stuff like that. I would love to see some of these like comic only characters that haven't had toy love show up, because there have been a number, particularly, with the IDW stuff, but even, Marvel had characters that haven't gotten toys. Like we got the first Scrounge toy, with that Cosmos repaint, but a number of other characters just haven't been represented yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Legacy has to show us, but these are great.
Should we mention the face underneath the Tarn mask?
Oh, yeah.
How it's not accurate. Actually,
neither is the mask technically.
Well, that's
it's not the right color.
The color I can live with. The face underneath it, I cannot. I cannot abide by it being the wrong face.
You don't have to use that head. You can just put that head under his boot, and it could just be one of his vanquished.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, we know Glitch was Tarn, but he did get his head, like his mono optic head, replaced back with a head with two eyes. But did we ever see the head without the mask? I don't think we did.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I believe he takes off his mask at the very end of More Than Meets the Eye during like the big final fight.
Oh, does he? Okay.
I think so. I'm pretty sure we've seen it, and he just had like a normal everyday face underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, are you asking questions, Charles, about More Than Meets the Eye?
Oh snap! Have the roles reversed?
What's happening here?
I think there was a glitch, and we're in a different alternate universe now.
All right, Dr. Pants, what do you think of these figures?
First, I want to point out that I was right about a comic book thing that is from the G2 comics. It's from issue 1 of G2, not G.I. Joe. So I just want to point that out, that I did know something about the comics.
Bullshit.
It's very rare it happens, so I want to stake my claim to that. Okay, Alligatorcon, I'm sorry. That's stupid. I don't know why there's a figure of this thing. Like, somebody has to love that episode so much to want to spend almost $60 on it. But
there have been third-party transforming figures of Alligatorcon.
Right, but they transform. I feel like there's something there at least. But I think it's dumb. To anybody who wants it, great. Wow.
I will say that I do remember that episode City of Steel had really terrible animation. That particular episode's animation was really bad.
Wreck-Gar's really cool for all the accessories he comes with, except his default face. I feel like he should be smiling and not scowling as much. I always imagine Wreck-Gar to be a bit happier, but that might be me. The G2 Megatron is awesome. I love it. I love that he comes with either the fusion cannon from the comic or the really big tank turret from the toy. It even has the big sticker on it. I love it. I absolutely love it. And Tarn, just give us a freaking transforming Tarn figure. Stop toying with us. Haha. With this non-transforming crap. We know he can transform. And also, why is the mask not purple? That really bothers me. His mask is supposed to look like the Decepticon logo. The Decepticon logo is purple. Why would you make it black? Make it purple. That's dumb. Otherwise, I think the Tarn figure is really cool, especially because it comes with nickel. But I don't know if I'll buy it.
I'm happy you don't have very strong opinions.
I know, right? I'm fairly okay with everything. But if I got any of them, it'd be the G2 Megs. I think that looks really cool. But other than that, they're okay.
We just got a pants rant, I think.
This is starting to become a regular thing in this show, and I'm really sorry.
Just tore his pants.
It's not going to be good for when we do trips to the store. I'll have to go change.
You've been pantsed.
If anyone listening can make a pants rants jingle, I will put it on the soundboard.
Oh, man. I look forward to that.
All right. Well, that's all our toy topics. So now let's move on to trips to the store. This is where we show off all the cool Transformers merchandise we got this week. We do this as a video so you can see everything we got in beautiful high definition, but we'll have the audio right here in the podcast so you can keep listening as we describe everything we got in loving detail. So without further ado, trips to the store.
The Transmissions Podcast will return after these messages.
I'm going to go first because all I got is comics this week. Sorry to disappoint. But I got a lot of comics. So what do we have here? We have Transformers number 37. And this is the cover by Hertzbalter. So we haven't reviewed that yet. We'll probably be coming soon. Here's Shattered Glass number 4. Another awesome Alex Milne cover. This is homaging the Jim Lee cover of Transformers 67 back in the day, Marvel Comics, and replacing Galvatron with the evil Bumblebee. I'm going to refer to him as Dark Goldbug. I think he looks like Goldbug. So, but it's cool. Great image. Awesome art by Alex.
I wonder if Jim Lee even remembers drawing Transformers.
We've got King Grimlock. This is the cover by Dave Wilkins, issue number 4. We'll be getting to this eventually soon as well. I haven't read this one yet, so I'm going to see where the story is going so far. And as I mentioned, we're reviewing Beast Wars number 10 this week in Transmissions Alt Mode. So this is the cover A for Beast Wars number 10, and this is cover by Anna Malkova, who we interviewed last week on the show. So awesome cover by Anna, and awesome book by Josh Burcham and Eric Burnham inside. So that's what I got this week. I'll pass it over to Jeremy.
All right. I had a pre-order come in from Target, and it was Draculus. This VHS tape looking box. Really cool box. I like it. I was surprised because it doesn't come out all the way, and I was about to force it, and I'm like, oh wait, this is by design. I haven't taken him out yet. I do like how he's in the box, and like the black and silver with like red eyes. It looks really good. And then down below here is this cape where you can soft goods. Really cool. Feels good. So I will probably get him out because I do think this picture on the back of him with the cape, it looks really good.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why I bought it. I'm not a huge Dracula fan, but you know, it just one of the weird things, and I think I'm glad I did because it just cool box design and just cool looking figure. Even the crossover logo, if you see, there's a little bat hanging from the gray part of the X.
That's cool.
I hadn't noticed that until now. So anyway, that's all I got this week.
Just make sure you don't open it in direct sunlight.
Yeah, I would. I can't imagine what the sunlight would do to to this. Just
All right, Daryl, going to you next.
All right, I too have some comics this week. This is Transformers 37, the same cover that you showed off. Hertz something?
Hertz Spalter.
There you go.
She's a fan artist who has recently been able to do some official artwork for IDW.
Cool. Then I also had King Grimlock number 4, the same cover you got. This is Dave Wilkins, you said. This is cover A. I loved this cover because the dragon on it looks amazing, like really good. And my daughter's really into dragons right now still, and I got this because she liked it. So yeah, that was the one. Shattered Glass number 4. I couldn't get the Alex cover on this one. So there was a few of these cover Bs left on the shelf, and no Alex covers. So I was a little disheartened about that. So, but I'll figure one out. I'll get one eventually. But this is the other one. Who did this one?
Is that Sarah Peter?
No, she did the RI. So it's the other one. I can't remember.
That Beth McGuire Smith? Maybe
could be. I didn't. It's in a bag and board, so I haven't actually looked at the back of mine to see who did it.
Hold on, I will look in my copy since it's loose. Yes, I was right. Beth McGuire Smith.
There you go.
There we go.
And then I have cover B of Beast Wars number 10. And this also is an artist that their name escapes me.
Freddie Williams.
Is this Freddie Williams?
Yeah.
Huh. Cool. So yeah, so this was it was weird because my comic store got this one last week. So I got this one last week, and I was like, okay, well that's cool. And then in this week's bag, I got this one, and this is the RI for number 10. This is the Casey Collar cover. So I'm like, cool. This was the one I was hoping to be able to get because Casey's just, he's an awesome
JP,
awesome person. Yeah. And so yeah, the RI for Beast Wars number 10. I do have a couple toys this week. One, first off, I got to thank a listener, Vids Vega. And I think that's how he's pronouncing how he says his name in here. Anyway, he's local to me here in London. And he and DJ Ronan have all been kind of hanging out, and not really hanging out, but chatting and figuring stuff out, and kind of, becoming a much more closer knit group of fans in the area. And I had mentioned on a previous show that I was having trouble finding this figure, and he mentioned that he was placing an order, and he could order me one. So I got myself Studio Series Gnaw, thanks to Vids Vega. So nice. This is a really cool figure. I can't find them in London because Dogcades buys them all. So, so I got mine from somewhere else, and I haven't opened him yet, but he looks great, and from everything I've heard, he's a pretty amazing figure too. So, looking forward to messing with him. But Series nah. Thanks, Vids Vega. And the last thing I got was a complete surprise, and we mentioned that it kind of showed up on a lot of people out of nowhere, and I was kind of humming and hawing whether I was going to keep this pre-order or not, because of the price for it here is outrageous. But it showed up. The box is amazing. The way it looks in the box is phenomenal. I'm keeping it in the box. I'm not even opening it. But I got the Jurassic Park collaborative set, and just the way that this thing looks in the box is amazing. And I'm sorry about the glare, but
if only the box didn't have that kind of molded marking on the front. I hate when they do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with how all of these things look in their boxes, So I'm pretty happy to keep these things in its box. The packaging is just top notch on these. I know that there was some talk about all this wasted, space on the back where it's just a picture of a footprint. I don't care. It's, there's an awful lot of languages here. I think this is written in 5 different languages. There's a lot of great pictures here, and I'm pretty happy with this. It looks pretty awesome. So this will go up on my shelf with the rest of my collaborative stuff, where I have Ectotron, Gigawatt, Maverick, and then the MP10 and the Ghostbusters stuff too. So yeah, I think that's all that I have.
Expanse?
No, he's $80 here.
Oh my god.
No, yeah, he's $80 here. So he's a spicy meatball. So, but I've seen him. He's still kicking around in the stores. He's an expensive expanse, yeah. But I am kind of looking forward to getting him at some point. But yeah, this one looks great, and I'm happy to have it.
Nice. All right, we're gonna end the show with Dr. Pants and a buttload of stuff. I hear.
Yeah, and I'm not showing it all off. So what happened this month is, aside from normal stuff I bought, somebody on the Facebook Marketplace down the street from me decided to sell all of his Optimus Prime figures. His entire collection of Optimus Prime stuff. And I'm not going to show it all off because there's some junk in there. But the first thing I'll show off, and this is just fun, I got a 1984 Optimus Prime slider puzzle.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Didn't even know I was getting this. It was in the box. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I hate these because I'm terrible at them. But hey, it's there.
All you got to do is do it once and then put it on your shelf.
Exactly. So I'll play with it every now and then and try and get it. A lot of this stuff I'm just going to fly through, but there is a couple of ones I want to point out. But I got a Spy Changer Optimus Prime based on the Scourge mold. I got a little tiny Cybertron Leo Prime. He's adorable. I got this Combiner Force RID 2015 Optimus Prime. He's real tiny and adorable. He's kind of fun. I forget what these were called, Commander Class or something, but the animated Optimus Prime, this is the smaller one that kind of just quick changes. He's cool. I also got 2 Deluxe animated Primes. I got the Cybertron one and the Battle Damaged one. Those are both fantastic figures. Love both those. Also got the Voyager animated Prime. So now there's 4 animated Primes, but hold on, there's one more. I got the Transform and Roll Out one that you roll across the ground and it transforms. It makes all kinds of noises. And he's just gigantic and cool. So there was that. I got this. This is absolute garbage. This is the Deluxe Classics Optimus Prime that like spins when you press the button on the back. This thing is trash. I hate it. But it's in my collection now, so that's okay. And then there were a lot of movie Primes. I got the Protoform Deluxe Optimus Prime, who, like, the alt mode's stupid, but I think he looks really cool. So I'm down for that. I got the Voyager Movie 1 Optimus Prime, and he's, I think, the battle damage one, because there's markings and stuff all over him. But this is actually a really cool figure. I love the transformation for this. Really, really cool. And also movie Primes, I got the Leader Class Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime. This thing's awesome. I love the transformation on this. It is cool, intuitive. He's got the spring-loaded hooks. He makes noises. All kinds of great stuff. Love it. But the one that I saw in the picture that made me go, kind of want to get this, even though it's so crap. I got the ultimate Dark of the Moon Optimus Prime.
Wow.
And like, come on. This is just great. It's got the giant weapon on the back that flips over his face and everything and makes all kinds of noises. I've tried to transform it once. It's really dumb, so he's just going to stay like this. And that's fine.
Did this guy
fine.
know that there are other Transformers besides Optimus Prime? That the toy line is not called Optimus Prime?
So I'm not entirely sure if it was his collection or if it was his kid's collection and the kid had moved away or what the deal was, but like, listen, I was going to jump on it. I love me some Optimus Prime. I'll take them all. It was a good deal. And another one that really, really spoke to me is he had an Armada Overload, and thanks to listener Calidus, I got a Jetfire to go with it, so now I've got the full powered up Armada Prime.
Nice.
And as Daryl pointed out at one point, his pants are not the right color, because this is Powerlink's Jetfire. But you know what? I don't care, because the full thing's here. He's pretty impressive looking. I'm okay with that.
Leave it to Dr.
just
Pants
fine.
to not care about his pants.
It's fine. The pants work. That's what matters. I also got the full-size Cybertron Leo Prime. So now this is my third version of the Leo Breaker mold. I think I need one more, and I've got all the different color variations now. So that's awesome. That's cool. And the last one from what I bought off him that was really cool, and this was surprising, I got the Spy Changer RID 2001 Optimus Prime, but the yellow version.
Nice. That's Banana Prime.
That is the Banana Prime, or what's Splendid Yellow, I think is what she's called in like some version.
I don't know. When I saw the original one that was like a Costco exclusive, the full size one, I always called it Banana Prime.
Yeah. I wish I had the full size one, but. And then I picked up two more things, and I'll just show these off really quick. I got the reissue Optimus Primal. I had this figure as a kid. I absolutely loved it. It was lost in my parents' attic, and just it's now gone. There's no chance of ever finding it again. So I bought the reissue because, come on, I think this is better than the Kingdom one. I'll take it. He's bigger. He's got more gimmicks. I love the flip out hand and the mace and everything. It's just cool.
How does the plastic quality feel?
I think it feels pretty good. It feels a little lighter than I remember, but also I was really young at the time. But I think it feels pretty good. Yeah. I mean, I'm happy to have it in the collection. And to go along with him, I got Beast Wars 2nd Leo Convoy.
Ooh.
I found this on eBay for a really good price. Absolutely complete. He'd had everything, missiles, card, everything. And this was the last Beast Wars Prime I needed, because I've got Big Convoy over here, and then I got Optimus Primal, so now I've got all three of the Beast Primes. So, yeah.
I'm guessing
That's awesome.
the Beast Wars, what is it? The Ultra Mammoth doesn't count because he's not a Prime.
Yeah, because, well, he's a repaint of Big Convoy, so yeah, I sadly he doesn't count. You
don't need a big blue mammoth.
I mean, if I found him, I would probably pick him up, because I'll take a big blue mammoth. I think that's pretty cool. But I mean, he's not a great transformer. Big Convoy's kind of crap. That mammoth is awful.
He's a shell for.
Yeah, this guy was a lot better. His transformation's a lot more fun. He's got lots of gimmicks, and to go along with my new shirt, he's got a rub sign. He's got a legitimate rub sign, and it still works. Are you actually gonna do the thing, or no? You gonna call me a liar? Of course, yeah. I'm a liar, apparently. But
it's an Autobot, or does he do
it's a Maximal. It's a Maximal rub sign.
Cool.
Yeah. For some reason it's not turning on right now. Or it's not activating. I don't know why. It was working earlier. But yeah, so this was really cool. I've been looking for one for a while, and someone had it on eBay for a really good price. I had to snatch it up. I love it. And I double-checked to make sure that he was not a sufferer of gold plastic syndrome, and apparently not, because all of his stuff is painted gold, not actual gold plastic. So hopefully he stands the test of time. But yeah, that was my month of primes. I am swimming in primes, and I don't know what to do with all of them.
Is that it?
So,
is that all you got?
Do you want me to bring the box over that's got like the gumball machine, the lunchbox, the plushie, the like 3 Christmas ornaments? There's an Optimash Prime in there. There's a Mr. Potato Head Optimus Prime in there. It's the stupidest thing I've seen.
And
now I have it. I have it now, and it's like, this is awesome. Like, it's stupid, but it's awesome. I love it.
It's Prime.
It is. It's just
well, that's
Prime.
just Prime.
This is all just Prime. But yeah, that's all I got.
And that'll do it for this week's Trips to the Store.
We now return to the Transmissions Podcast.
We're back from our trips to the store, and we will finish up the show with convention news.
All right. Well, TFCon Toronto is coming up this next weekend, and we have some final news. The customizing class figure has been announced. It is Cybertronian Downshifter, and they're going to be using Netflix Wheeljack, and people, I don't know if there's still tickets available, but you can check on the TFCon site. But they're going to show you how to change that Netflix Wheeljack into this Cybertronian Downshifter, which is green and black. It can be pretty interesting to do that. I think a lot of times they use a third-party figure, so it's really kind of cool that they're using an official mainline figure. And then they've also announced an exclusive X-Transbots Master X Series Ono, which is a red brain fart.
Hoist.
Red hoist. And they're like, he just might be Santa's helper. I'm like, but lame joke, but good looking figure. So, if you want it, it'll be there at the ages 3 and up booth, or I believe that's where it is. I don't think TFCon has it directly, but it'll be $175. So check it out. And TFCon December 10th through 12th. If you are going to be there, join our Discord and let us know. We can add you to a special channel in our Discord specifically for getting together, communicating with each other during the weekend. And I know that's been so helpful at conventions. So meet up with other fans and have a great time.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Do you have anything you want to say about the convention before we head out?
I mean, it's looking to be pretty fun. I think the dealer, I didn't think, because of the year we've had, or the last 2 years we've had, and stuff coming into Canada and stuff like that, I figured I didn't think there was going to be a customizing class, and I didn't think there was going to be any kind of, exclusives, but, here we are. And, it's, I'm happy to be wrong on this. So I'm pretty excited about being there and seeing a whole bunch of people. I was just talking to somebody last week who we were talking about the show, and I was saying how I'm getting ready to go, but I really am not actually looking for anything. I'm just looking to just kind of meet up with people I haven't seen in such a long time. And I'm genuinely just excited about just going and being around other Transformers fans again. So yeah, I'm really excited about just kind of being around some like-minded people again.
Nice, cool. Well, we will have a full report. I don't know if you're going to be able to be on the show next week, or you'll be too exhausted. But when you're back, we'll have a full report.
Right on.
That's it for convention news.
And that will do it for this episode of Transmissions. Dr. Pants, thanks again for joining us this week. And thanks for inviting me on your show to talk all about Metroid.
You are quite welcome. Thank you for having me on here as always. And anytime you guys want to be on an episode, we'll have you.
All right. And why don't you tell everyone where they can find your stuff and Nerdstradamus online?
So you can go to nerdstradamus.com and you can find links for everything there. But our main source where we post everything is on the Nerdstradamus YouTube channel. So you can find us there, where we do mostly gaming stuff, but we do, other stuff from time to time. We just recorded an episode talking about Spider-Man No Way Home. And if you're listening to this when this comes out, this coming Saturday, starting at 3 p.m. on Nerdstradamus, we will be doing a live stream where we'll be playing some games, and me and two of my other co-hosts will be doing a lot of unboxing. There's some trading cards to crack open. There's some boxes I've got to undo and see what's inside. So if you want to tune in and check that out, we'll be there. And you can check us out every Friday on YouTube at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're usually streaming some video games.
All right, and that will do it for this episode of Transmissions. As always, we end the show by giving a shout out to our Masterpiece Donatreons. That is John 4X Lemongood, Dinobot Maximize, Demon Tech 82, and Septimus Soulvein. So thank you all for continuing to support the show at our highest level. We really appreciate it. And you can also buy some merchandise at our TeePublic store. That's at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. Check out all the shirts and masks and other merchandise we have there. Of course, if you want to buy anything from TeePublic, use our link, and that'll still help us out, even if you don't buy Transmissions design. So transmissionspodcast.com/shop. Thanks everyone for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool Transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our Transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.